and gentlemen, uh, I hope you are doing absolutely fantastic. I'm very privileged to kickstart this session of Indian Empowerment Network talks. So, uh, the next 15 to 20 minutes, you'll be hearing about a person, story of a person uh, who externally has all the achievements academically, enviable records academically, but on the internal, it's a train wreck. Mentally, it's a train wreck, and how he has evolved from that state, enter into depression, and then slowly started finding his way out of it and rise like a phoenix from the ashes. And the process is still going on. So this is not a typical rags to riches kind of a story. Rather, this is a story from despair to hope. So let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Anandakrishna Vemuri. I am from Hyderabad, Telangana State, India. So I did my PhD from National Institute of Nutrition, Tarnaka, which comes under ICMR, Indian Council of Medical Research. So let us start. So let me enter into my childhood. My childhood has been very traumatic because my mom has faced so much of spousal abuse and mental harassment and stuff like that. So uh, I didn't know what love of a father looks like. It's been 30 years and I'll be turning 31 next month, and I still don't know what love of a father looks like because my parents were separated when I was, I think, 2. So after that, I didn't get to see my father, and I had so much of hatred against him for doing the things that he did. What I have seen those 2 years. So then after that, but my mind was very much into studies. So I started. I did not even think of bunking the school. I just loved going to school, despite me having 103, 102.5, 103 degrees Fahrenheit fever. So I used to get gold medals for my just for my attendance. Keep the academic thing aside. I used to get gold medals just for my 100% attendance. So it was going on, and suddenly one evening in 1998, we were playing. We guys were playing, and I drank water from a borewell. So unlucky me, that water was so contaminated that my liver got enlarged in such a way that, see, for a person who had 100% attendance, suddenly the same child had to sit at hospital for 2 months, bedridden at hospital for 2 months, and being treated by an over enthusiastic and over anxiety kind of doctor who said, "Oh, you should not be eating this, you should not be eating that. Your liver will enlarge if you run, if you do this, if you do that." That kick started my anxiety because the fears that came in, apart from not just from the doctor but also from, okay, I skipped school for 2 months. So what? How will I score? Where are the notes and all those things? So I started developing phobia against mathematics because I lost touch with that. So luckily for me, my mind creatively jumped from mathematics to biology. So I started focusing. I just used to do quite good at mathematics, but then my mind went into the creative field. And by the time I reached my 10th, that was, I think, 2004, suddenly I was just thrust into celebrity status because I achieved state 9th rank. When my school got 1 to 10, top 10 ranks in the state of erstwhile Andhra Pradesh. So my photo was everywhere. So did all the rest of the 9 guys and girls who were there. So my photo was everywhere. The flexi boards were everywhere, all over Hyderabad. They still are certain places at my school right now. But then, yeah, that was a crazy period. So I got a gold medal for that also from Y.S. Rajshekar Reddy. And then, since I was interested in biology, I shifted to BIPC, which is botany, zoology, physics, and chemistry. And I was doing well in those subjects and all, but I could not crack the MSET. So for the uninitiated, MSET was the thing to crack into either engineering or MBBS. That point of time, I think 2006, 2005, 2006, at that point of time. So I could not get a sufficient rank to crack MBBS entrance examination. So I got somewhere around 10,500 something, which is not sufficient to get MBBS. So my dreams of being a medical doctor got squashed. So I did not enter into a long term, that is repeating the course again, and ventured into BSc, Bachelor of Science in Microbiology, Genetics and Chemistry from Aurora Degree College. And since I had a very good academic percentage, I got seat there. And after that, my academic life was going on unabated. I got Star of Aurora, I got a gold medal for academic excellence, and that was going on. But mentally, the anxiety was increasing in quantum. It was following me like a huge demon. It's the back of my head. It is following me every step of the way. And after my BSc, then comes the MSc. Here is an interesting aspect. For the MSc, a lot of my friends, what I observed at that point of time was everybody were taking coaching. So some coaching center or the other. So I did not take any coaching. I did not believe in any coaching. I did not take any tuitions since my childhood also. So it was all me. So so the way I did was I used to study all by myself, and I only believed in two things: my gut and God. So I did not take any of the coaching, and I cracked National Institute of Virology and as well as the entrance exam for University of Hyderabad. National Institute of Virology is very, very difficult to crack because 70% of the seats are reserved for Maharashtrians. Only 30% are for the general public from other states, and one seat per state. So I went to Pune. I wrote the entrance examination and I cracked that entrance examination. So I was the only person from Andhra Pradesh who cracked that entrance examination. The fees was very high. So I thought, okay, since I had certain fears and all those things, so fees was very high. So they called me and I said, sir, I'm preferring University of Hyderabad over NIN. They said, congratulations, young man. So all the best for your endeavors. Even though I was very, very interested in pursuing my MSc in virology. Virology is something that is very close to my heart. But I had chosen animal biotechnology over that. And the moment I joined University of Hyderabad, or HCU as we call it, that is the lexicon of our this thing in AP. So I was traveling 100 kilometers every single day for 2 years. I was a day scholar, so I was traveling 100 kilometers. And my academic things, again, they kick-started. I took Achievers Medal from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I took another Achievers Award from Dr. Duvuri Subbarao, ex-Governor RBI, for getting the top CGPA in the semester. And then I got Kiran Kumar Gold Medal for having the topmost CGPA in the entire course. So academically, it was going fantastic, absolutely great. But mentally, every day was a struggle. Every day was a new kind of challenge, and I didn't even know how to face those challenges. I used to escape from situations. And then came the PhD entrance examination. I cleared the PhD entrance examinations. Except for DBT, I cleared everything. So CSIR, ICMR. So I selected ICMR, and since I had so many fears, I could not stay in a hostel and all those things. So I took a seat at National Institute of Nutrition. I got a position at National Institute of Nutrition. For the uninitiated, even though it's a premier institute, people from University of Hyderabad, they don't prefer NIN. So they prefer other universities or institutes rather than going and doing PhD at NIN. So I had selected, it's 12 kilometers from my home, so I had selected that so that I'll stay within my comfort zone. So I was not ready to get out of my comfort zone. So I wanted to stay with my parents as well as my own comfort zone. So I started, I think in November 2011, I joined at NIN for my PhD. And most of my friends, some of them, they went even abroad. They started doing their PhD abroad, various countries, various continents, various countries. So I was stuck here. And then came 2013. So after my animal experimentation, I realized, okay, I'm getting way too many negative thoughts. I'm unable to concentrate because I was focusing a lot on Facebook, basically. So Facebook, and I did not start Instagram by that time, but then yeah, Facebook was way too much. So because I was suffering from insecurity, inferiority complex, jealousy, or all the things that a topper goes through. And apart from that, validation addiction. So I was looking for validation from other people rather than for validation from myself. So I was on Facebook all the time, and I thought, okay, these negative thoughts are getting increasing day by day. So I need to visit a psychiatrist. So I visited a psychiatrist, and I was on very high medication. So I was diagnosed with general anxiety disorder as well as social anxiety disorder. So let me explain briefly what is general anxiety disorder. Basically, it's phobia about every single thing that you encounter in life. Every single thing. Just anxiety is nothing but phobias magnified to such an extent that it will become a kind of fear. So social anxiety disorder is nothing but you will feel very, very uncomfortable. You start getting panic attacks when you are entering into a social atmosphere where there are way too many people. Especially for me, it was the situation with while eating, because I had that liver enlargement thing, and I had experienced that vomitings continuously every single day for close to 2 months. So I got that phobia of vomiting and all those things. So that created a huge issue for me. And I need to narrate an incident in 2013, the same year. I was very, very excited after listening to songs from this movie called Ye Jawani Hai Diwani. I wanted to watch that movie with my friends, and I wanted to watch it at a multiplex for the first time. So I was getting fellowship and all. So since I was staying at home, all money was mine. So I was spending it left, right, and center. So I just wanted to watch that movie. I was very excited, booked the tickets and everything. And the moment I entered Prasad's IMAX, the moment I entered, the panic attack struck me, and I just puked and barfed in front of everybody. It was so embarrassing. I think that feeling can be understood only by the person who has those anxiety disorders or who goes through depression. Because everybody goes through in a different stage. Even with the general anxiety disorder, one person has different set of fears, another person has different set of fears. So I just vomited, and it was very embarrassing. I could not enjoy the movie. I could not. I felt uh, I was cursing myself with what was happening with me and all those things. So then, around 4 years, the time passed by. I was going through Facebook and doing all sorts of things, and then I started taking selfies and putting them on Instagram and Twitter. I started Twitter. So basically, I was living a lot on social media and virtual life rather than the real life. So I was very lonely. I still am a very lonely person because of the family situations that I have explained to you. But I am my own girlfriend, so to speak. So I was going through that situation, and suddenly in 2017, I think May 2017, end of May 2017, I realized I was stuck somewhere. I'm just stuck. I didn't have a paper. I didn't even start writing my thesis, and in Facebook everything is hunky dory. So uh, I've seen that all my friends, they started submitting their thesis or started their papers or doing something great. At least in my mind, I was thinking that. Whether it is true or not, that's a different case. At least in my mind, I was thinking I'm the one who is a laggard, and then everybody are going ahead in their lives. So, and I stopped those medications. And just so you know, when you stop those benzodiazepines, the withdrawal symptoms are so horrible that I think they are equivalent to the withdrawal symptoms that you go through when you have substance abuse, narcotics like heroin or anything. So it's so horrible. So I was vomiting, I lost weight, and I was going through a very depressed. I went into the depression, even suicidal tendencies. Not because I had suicidal tendencies, but because of the side effects of stopping the drug without any advice from psychiatrist. So then a chance call from Jagdish. He called me once, and I told my situation to him. Look, mate, I'm just stuck here. I feel like everybody are going ahead, and I'm just stuck here. I don't know what to do. So he said, Anand, the problem with you is you are looking for validation, and I think the word he said was instant gratification. That was the first time I heard that word, instant gratification. Basically, it's that dopaminic pathway you are looking for. Okay, when you get people say, I was writing reviews left, right, and center. I used to watch movies every alternate day, and then just to get out of the stress of PhD. It's not that easy to do PhD in India, for that matter. I don't know rest of the world, but in India, and boss and co-boss and all those things, it was very stressful. So to get out of that stress, I was getting scoldings every single day. So I'm used to that. So to get out of it, I used to go for a long drive or just escape from the world. I just wanted my own thing. So he said, Anant, you are looking for instant gratification. That is not the way to go. And he said that one fantastic thing. It just stayed with me. And he said, look, Anant, just because sun rises early in Japan doesn't mean Japan is ahead of India. Every country has its own time, just like that, every person has his or her own time. So wait for it. So that was the kind of push that I needed at that point of time, because nobody gave me that kind of advice, or nobody even gave me any advice for that matter. So I thought, okay, this is something positive that is coming out when I'm going through that depression and stuff. So only a best friend, a soulmate, or a person whose character is impeccable, only he or she can give that kind of an advice. That is what I realized. And then I went back to my psychiatrist. He scolded me left, right, and center. He said that you have developed the symptoms of depression. Sir, I had anxiety. So when did depression start? There are no differences in the symptoms. Only thing is you have entered into the depression phase. Now I have to dodge three bullets. I have to dodge social anxiety disorder, general anxiety disorder, and depression. So I've started going to him religiously. If he asked me to come in 2 days, I used to go in 2 days. If he asked me to come in 4 days or a week, whatever, I used to go there. I started using medications religiously. It's not my decision alone. Then my sisters had asked me, they were going to Ramakrishna Math for learning linguistics. So in entire South India, only Hyderabad branch teaches the linguistics, German language, French, Spanish, etc. So one sister was going for French, and other two were going they are my cousins basically. Other two were going for Germany for the job purpose. So I thought, okay, let me get out of my comfort zone. I got a push from Jagdish anyhow. So I thought, okay, I'm not learning anything worthwhile in my life. So let me get out of it. And I did self introspection during those 2 months of going through benzodiazepine withdrawal. So I entered RK-Mat. I took the admission. I entered RK-Mat in German. This thing. Funny thing is, they could not complete the course. They dropped out within 15 days or within a session. I ended up going step by step. So the moment I entered Ramakrishna Math, my life changed. Something drastic kind of happened in my life, and I could feel the surge of positive energy, because that place is a temple of learning. So just so you know, the itinerary is early in the morning. The classes would start early in the morning, 7:30. I took early morning batch. So early in the morning, there used to be 10 minutes of prayer session, in which 2 minutes would go for a prayer, and then Swamiji used to then take one Vivekananda quote, and then explain what youth are doing, what are the mistakes that youth are committing, and how to control them. So it's not just learning a language there. It's also about personality development, and also learning how to cope from the stresses and the negative thoughts and all those things. So after that 10-minute prayer session, we used to go back to our classes, and I'm fortunate enough to have gurus there. The Guru Sishya tradition that we followed strictly, religiously, the kind of discipline that we followed, it was fantastic. I did not see that. I heard about it in Puranas and stuff. I did not experience it in my life. So in spite of having a course schedule that we need to follow, the German language and stuff, which is very alien to us and all those things, there are Guruji, he said one thing which stayed with me again. He said, and I quote, boys and girls, I have not used my Facebook account for the past 1 year, and I don't even use my WhatsApp, I think not more than weekly once. So I said, wait a minute, hold on a minute. Is that even possible? I thought to myself, is that even possible? So I thought, okay, let me try it, because anyhow the positive energy entered in me. I don't know what entered in me. So the positive energy entered in me, and I thought, okay, let me just stop it. And for a person who was worried about, okay, how many friends were there, and people who are unfriending me, why did they unfriend me, and all those anxieties and all those thoughts. So for that person to completely stop, uh, you know, anxiety, Facebook, to stop taking selfies, because selfies, that I read that it came into another psychiatric disorder called selfitis. So I stopped posting anything in Instagram. I have all the accounts, by the way. You can go and check it. I have Facebook, I have Twitter, and I have Instagram accounts. But it's been 3 years since I. It's been 3.5 years since I took any selfie, and it's been 3 years since I. Somewhere around 2.8 years since I opened my Facebook. I did not close my accounts. I just deleted all the apps, and I stopped using those apps, and I've started learning other courses too. Lot of courses from morning till night, till midnight. I was learning something or the other. Too many courses that I didn't even imagine that I would be learning. Something with programming, Python language, and Java, C, and whatnot. So I was learning that. I was learning German, and I was going to my lab, and I started applying this. I was doing self introspection also while riding my bike from Archemat to home and all those things. I was thinking about things. What is happening with me? What is triggering my negative qualities, or this anxiety or inferiority complex, and all those things? The validation addiction, what I was talking about. So I was thinking and thinking and thinking, and I started analyzing it, started clearing out the clutter. When I stopped that social networking, I suddenly I got a lot of clarity in my brain. So I started thinking in such a complex way. I was thinking many different topics and then just combining it. I wrote a lot of points in my Google Keep app. Instead of writing on Facebook wall, I started writing only for myself. I did not stop watching movies or anything. Just that nobody knew that I was doing all that. So I was keeping everything to myself. I was writing all those complicated thoughts and analysis. So I was living by the moment instead of thinking about, oh, what would happen next. And I still didn't have paper by that time. Okay, I was seeing rejection after rejection. I saw 10 rejections to get my paper published. I have seen more rejections in those 8 to 10 months than my whole life till date. 30 years of my life, I've seen more rejections, and I was rock solid because Archemat has taught me to be resilient and be rock solid. Every single day I was rock solid. So I was doing that self introspection, and I was being resilient. I was being mentally strong, and it took me 2 years from that stage and to for thesis submission, manuscript publication and thesis submission. 2 years. I did not uh, lose my guard, or I did not lose my courage. I did not lose my uh, stubbornness to stay there, to hang in there, hang in there. I just used to tell myself, Anant, hang in there, hang in there. And from junior one, that is A1 as they call it, from junior one, I passed with distinction to junior two, then junior two to senior one, senior two, then diploma one and diploma two. Out of 750 people, only 10 people graduated from Archemat in German, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm one of them. From 750, 10, 6 sessions or 6 semesters continuously without any session break or without any failure. A grade, continuously A grade, whatever. Then I got that degree very recently. January, we had a convocation, and I was awarded the degree. The photo that you see in LinkedIn is that. And my degree got awarded again January 12th. I got the press note after I gave the seminar. I got finally, after 8 years, I got my PhD. So the doctor that you are seeing there on the screen, that is because of 8 years of hardship, roller coaster ride. And it's not a simple case. It's a so 28 years of my life was on one hand, and the 2 years of that Archemat life, that was my rebirth. So I'm 2 years old basically, 2 or 2.5 years old basically, from the day I joined, 2.8 years. So I have learned so much of resilience and so much of self introspection and so much of perseverance to stay there and to control my impulses. I'm very impulsive person and a very emotional person because I didn't have that love that I craved for. I only had half the love. I didn't have. So I'll be turning 31 next month, and I still don't know how a father's love is. And I just accepted my fate and all those things. So then I rose like a phoenix from the ashes, and it's still a process going on. I still don't say that I have conquered my anxiety. Yes, I don't have depression right now, and I found a way to counter that negative thoughts. Okay, negative thought, you have a counter negative thought. Negative minus into minus, it becomes plus. So negative thought have a counter intuitive, I mean counter negative thought that will become positive. So my gurus at Ram Krishna Mat and my self introspection. So in that way, I realized the divinity within me. So I realized my eternal parents, Sadashiva and Parvati Mata. So I realized them. I started reading Shiva Purana and all those things. I visited Kashi. So I felt that love that I was yearning for in my life. I just I just felt happy, and I think I'm not a crying person basically, but I had tears in my eyes when I visited Kashi and I was sitting in the lap of Shiva and Parvati. I just experienced that unflinching love. So those are my real parents. I realized that at that point of time. I spent my birthday there, 4 days in Kashi, and was very very happy. So all the void in my mind, whatever was there, so everything got cleared, and I'm very very thankful to Shiva. So what I'm doing right now, so from that situation now I'm a doctorate now, and I have cleared that RKMAT thing, and now I'm a scientific advisor in Serendipity Center for Community Health, to a group of doctors who are very passionate in treating autism through microbiome and microbiome transplant. And I'm looking for postdoctoral in neuropsychiatry. Again, it's a very very difficult field to get into because I don't want to be in the same comfort zone. Okay, my PhD was in lipids and biochemistry, so that was a completely different thing. And what I want to do is completely 180 degrees opposite. So I just don't want to get stuck into routine kind of thing. So I want to do something which is challenging personally and mentally. So my mind loves challenges. I've realized it. So what my mind loves, so I've started taking that seriously, and I want to get into neuropsychiatry. It will be learning from the scratch. Neuropsychiatry is not that easy to get into for a person who doesn't know anything about how brain works or anything. So I'm planning for that as well. That is my career, that I'm planning for that. And here we are organizing webinars and correcting curriculum vitae. And I'm on the deep background of IEN, though I don't feature much in IEN. Jagdish is the one who is the face of IEN. I am on the deep background, so whatever you see here, something or the other I'll be doing in the background. We discuss a lot, and I'm also the co-organizer of various mental health issues based webinars with Professor Dr. Ushi Mohandas. And some of you might have attended the webinar Kill Stress Before Stress Kills You. That was our brainchild. Uh, then yeah, we are also in the process of starting a startup. So it is quite classified right now. So the modalities are being worked out. So once we have a concrete plan in place, you will be the first to know. So, and there are much more things to conquer and much more things to do. So I would say that, you know, what had brought me from anxiety and depression and to give a positive affirmations is self introspection and learning resilience and teachings of Ramakrishna Math, what my gurus have taught me in Ramakrishna Math, to not compare with anybody. You are a unique person. Your life is the best self-help book out there. You don't need to read any self-help book. You read your Puranas, you learn from the Puranas what Shiva has taught, what Vishnu has taught, and what are the stories, what is the deep meaning behind those stories. So once you start introspection, the churning, antarmadhanam as they call it, when you start churning, then you get the butter or whatever. Unless you churn milk, you don't get butter. So once you do it, you'll realize your mistakes. If you had hurt anybody that day, or when you do that, then you learn something in life. So I would like to conclude this by quoting a dialogue from the movie Chitralahari. I'll say it in Telugu first and then I'll translate it to English. There, the hero goes through the same phase, and in the climax, he says one thing: "What is success? మేబీ నేను దిగుతున్న ప్రతి ఒక్క మెట్టు జీవితంలో పైకి ఎక్కుతున్నట్టు అనిపిస్తే బహుశా అదే సక్సెస్ అంటే." విచ్ ట్రాన్స్లేట్స్ టు when I'm going down the stairs, which with each and every step that I take, if it feels like I'm taking a step up in my life, that is probably the meaning of, or the definition of success. So I thank you, ich danke Ihnen für die Gelegenheit und die Einladung. Danke, auf Wiedersehen, bis bald. Thank you.